And this is Family Talk, your number one family talk show in the city. Family Talk on Empire 102.7. In fact, Family Talk is your most educative and inspirational family talk show in the city. We bring counseling to your doorstep through the power of radio. Whatever your family issue, Family Talk discusses it. And we do this every Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and we do a repeat on Sundays at 9 p.m. And our objective is simple, is to enrich your family and your love life. And as always, I'm not alone. I'm with my co-host, Akorfa Crankson. Akorfa, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. T.
It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
Yeah, this month has been wonderful. And we thank God for a beautiful month. This is the last Saturday of the month.
Oh, yes.
And it's my month, the month of May.
Right.
And I know it's the month of Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur's. He celebrated his birthday this month.
You don't say. My goodness. Then the program is right.
Reverend Istudanaba said something. He said, great people are born in May.
Hey.
And we there inside.
And the picker for a small back one. And the pay
that tells you that Doc is in the studio.
Exactly.
So let me use the opportunity to welcome him. Doc, please, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And it's great to have you back in Takrady.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking sharp this morning.
Very, very sharp.
I'm trying. That one is to confuse the boys.
But I know you are in town for a program. Family Enrichment Conference by ICGC Watered Garden Temple. And we use the opportunity to acknowledge the host of the program, Reverend Frank Bill. How's the conference going so far?
Well, it's been great. Reverend Bill is just an amazing person. And Uncle T. It's been great.
Right. Right. And we are going to interact with listeners today. So today, Doc is here. He's going to talk about your health and your family. Your health and your family. And Akorfa will be joining in the discussion. So, Doc, let me zoom into action. When we say your health, all right, and for those who do not know Doc, let me take my time to introduce him. Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur is a medical officer. He's also a clinical psychologist and is the medical director of University of Professional Studies in Accra. So please, he's not a herbal, what do they call it? A herbal doctor. Right. So Doc is with us and we are going to talk about your health and your family. And Doc, how will you define health?
So the concept of health has been defined severally over the years. Because as the years progresses, now our knowledge is getting deeper. We are becoming broader in our understanding. So health now, the definitions of health puts health into 4 dimensions. Physical, mental, social, and spiritual. Physical, mental, social, and spiritual. So when we say health, we're looking at 4 aspects of a person's life. Right? Physical, mental, social, and spiritual. So the physical deals with the body structure and processes. And so you have a body, and that body has a structure. And inside your body, we have systems, we have cells, we have organs. Cells form tissues, tissues form organs, organs form the systems. And for example, one of the systems, gastrointestinal systems. From one your esophagus, your stomach, your intestines, and all that. That is a system. Until when you eat, right, food passes through the gastrointestinal system. It's broken down. Some of it is absorbed. Some of it comes out. You have the circulatory system, your heart and your vessels, blood vessels, and all that. And we have even the immune system, the cells and other structures that fight, infections, and helps the body, keeps the body safe. We have the nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord and the nerves, right? And so we have various systems in the body and how they function. in his barren fahade no remove in a mojari fahana as how they function, right? And all the chemicals in the body and what they are doing, all those ones is what we call the physical, aspect of your health. And when something happens to your physical health, for example, you may have a headache, you are vomiting, you are running, you are bleeding, you are all those things. Your blood pressure has gone up, your sugar has gone up. So you go to the hospital and they are measuring your physical well-being. You see, in addition to this physical well-being, which is part of your health, there is also a second aspect of your health we call the mental health. So mental health is part of your health. It's not separate from your health, right? It's part of your. And when we talk about mental health, we are looking at your thinking, your feelings, and your behavior, right? So any thinking or feelings or behavior that is affecting your life negatively, we say in Pakrone mental health, no, there is a problem. So if you have any thinking at all, any feelings at all, any behavior at all, which is causing you some pain or distress, or you are not able to go about your normal activities, you're unable to function, or it's affecting your relationships, your work, everything is affected. You can't even fit in any social space. It's a sign that some aspect of your mental well-being is affected. So mental health goes beyond, respectfully, someone who is lying on the streets. You see, respectfully, someone is mad or insane. It goes beyond that. That one is one of the extreme form of mental disorders. There are plenty mental disorders. The fear-related issues, we say anxiety problems. It's true, Yoruba. We have the stress-related problems. Yoruba. We have the psychotic, is the normal madness problems, right? We have the bipolar and bipolar-related disorders. At some point they're on top of the world. At another point, the world is on top of them, right? They switch between the manic episodes and the depressive episodes, right? Then we have the neurodevelopmental problems. You see, the neurodevelopmental begins right from the womb around birth. It happens in kids where intelligence is a problem, social skills is a problem. Some people may have movement problems. In the antenatal, we check BBR, postnatal, weighing. They are checking their child growth and stuff. For some kids, for some reason, some part of their brain is damaged, either in the womb or when you are delivering the child. Until they are prolonged labor, the child doesn't come out well. Oxygen doesn't go to the brain, permanent brain damage. So when they grow up, realize that intelligence is a problem. There are some kids, they go to school, you teach them because the brain, some part is not functioning well. So the capacity to learn is not there, you see. So things like autism and stuff, attention deficit problems. Then we go to the neurocognitive problems. As people are aging, multiple areas of their brain is affected. And because of that, they develop something called dementia. Forgets things easily, thinking is a problem. If you have an adult who has that problem, they are not functional. Adults who even get missing in town and those things, they are things we call dementia. Then sex-related problems. All sex-related issues is under mental health. Whether you have feelings for sex or not, or you have abnormal desires for sex. People have all kinds of desires around. All sex-related addictions, pornography addiction, masturbation addiction, all those things under mental health. Then you have personality disorders. There are people who have, how people see things and respond to the environment. Those are called personality disorders, right? Some people have issues, with their personality. So they have problems with everybody. They can't fit in any social space. Proper human interaction sometimes is difficult, you see. Then we have the, substance use problems, like alcohol problems, marijuana problems, cocaine, heroin, those things, caffeine, all those addictive things. Then we have the feeding problems, eating-related disorders. Some people, because of body image issues and other traumatic events, they don't want to eat in order to put on weight, right? And not like normal weight loss, but there are people who have extreme obsession about their weight and weight gain, such that they starve themselves or they go into all kinds of abnormal eating things, right? Some overeat, some eat non-nutritional, substances. We call it pica. They can eat sand, they can eat metal, all kinds of things. So they are eating problems. Then sleep problems. Those who sleep too little and also too much. also, then impulse control issues like kleptomania and stuff. Some people steal unnecessarily, even if they don't have need for it, because they have an impulse problem. Then every medical problem has its own dimension, which has a mental health. There is no physical illness that doesn't have some mental health issues associated with it. Now we even know we have grief disorders, right? When someone is not able to get over their loss and they are grieving for many months, many years. Generally, when people are grieving, within a month, we expect things to start dying down. But some people grieve forever. There's a disorder like that. Then issues, psychosocial issues like abuse, marital conflicts and relationship problems, career-related issues, work-related stresses and problems, pregnancy-related stresses and postpartum depression and those things, postpartum psychosis. There are plenty.
All under mental health.
All under mental health. So mental health is part of your health. It's not outside your health. But unfortunately, most of these issues, people make it a personal issue. Instead of going to the hospital to seek help. Nobody goes to the hospital and say, "Doctor, my marriage is breaking apart. Help me." Because they don't know that there are professionals who have been trained to handle it. Psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, mental health nurses, all kinds of professional chaplains in the hospitals, right? Then we go to social well-being. So we have physical, mental, and social.
Okay.
Social well-being. The social issues has to do with your normal human to human interactions, community-related problems. So we have relationship issues and stuff. And interactions, father, mother, daughter, son kind of relationship at work, at home, boy, girlfriend relationship, all kinds of relationships under health, right? Then we go to tradition and culture. You see, we go to socio-economic problems, finance issues with work and stuff like that. Then again we go into social media. Now, social media is a very big
thing,
right? So that is your social well-being. Then we go to spiritual well-being. So spirituality is not outside health. It is part of health. It is part of your health. Because whatever happens in terms of your spiritual life influences other aspects of your health. There are some people, they come to us, you tell them you have hypertension. The first you hear, I reject it. It's okay. It's good. It's not bad. But when after rejection, if the BP is still high, it means you have BP.
True.
And it's okay. If you have BP, it doesn't mean you are not spiritual. It doesn't mean you don't have faith. It doesn't mean God has disappointed you. It means that nobody no ringing. It's as simple as, it's just like your face. When you stand in the mirror, you are aging. Like we have started seeing some small gray hair, right? I won't go into the mirror and say I reject it in Jesus' name.
I refuse it with the blood of Jesus.
It's part of growth. So for some people, because they are growing, a lot of changes happen in the body and they develop some diseases. So spirituality is part of health. So beyond what we know, beyond the demon and demon possession and all the spiritism and those things, there are other dimensions too of spirituality. That is part of your spirituality. One, your belief systems and worldview. How you view the world, what you think about the world, how you live your life is part of your spirituality. Feeling of fulfillment and achievement, quest for self-actualization. Then your growth, you are growing, you are becoming responsible, matured. They are part of your spirituality. Then we go into a concept we call interconnectedness or connectedness, the feeling that you are connected to others and to creation. You see, for example, at your workplace, you don't like everybody. You also don't hate everybody. There are few people you connect with. The question is why? See, that sense of connectedness is part of spirituality. Some people have this sense of connectedness to the beach environment. So when you're unwell, they go sit by the beach, they feel better. Others have this sense of connectedness to pets, animals. So before you realize, they keep pets, dogs, those things. If one of them dies, sometime last year, I was there when a lady called me, like wailing. Why? One of her cats is dead.
Hey.
Right, because she has this sense of a feeling, attraction to cats.
And I also heard of somebody who willed his properties to a dog.
Yes, so we have this sense of connectedness to our environment. And it's divine, because if there was no connection, we would destroy things. right? But we preserve our environment because we have this sense of connectedness. That experience is part of spirituality. Then there's the feeling of or awareness beyond your physical self. All of us have this sense of awareness that there is something beyond what we see, right? And we try very hard to understand what is beyond and have some level of connectedness to what is beyond. And that is why we get involved in prayer and meditation and those things, just to be able to make sense out of our experiences, right? You get my point, right? So and then you go into religion and religion practices and all those things. So spirituality is a broad concept. So this is also part of your health, your well-being. So health is physical, mental, social, and spiritual.
Okay.
Right. So when you hear holistic healthcare, what it means is that we are looking at all the dimensions and how it influences the cause of diseases and how we can use all the 4 areas to be able to help you when it comes to your health. So it's that is what health.
Right.
In summary, that's
Right.
what it means.
Right. And listeners, you are listening to Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur. Let me take my time to introduce him properly. He's the director of he's a senior medical officer and a clinical psychologist with over 12 years experience. And he's the director of the University of Professional Studies Accra Medical Directorate. He's also the PRO of Ghana Psychological Association. He's a lecturer at the Family Health Medical University Daniel Institute. That's ICGC Leadership Counseling and Pastoral Training Institution and Central University. He serves on various boards in some tertiary institutions and NGOs. And he provides part-time health consultancy services to various health facilities, including Acacia Medical Center, Britannia Medical Center, and the Port Clinic. He's an author of 5 books on mental health, purpose, and talent discovery, marriage and relationships, and campus life. He's also a carpenter, interestingly, specializing in furniture and cabinets and interior decor, renovation, etc. He's a graphic designer with over 15 years experience. And over the past 23 years, he has been an itinerant minister for various churches and is also a choice minister for conferences and all sort of programs in and outside the country. He has a special administration for the various SHS schools and universities, and has extensive media engagements, consulting weekly for various media organizations on youth health related issues, etc. And of course, he's a very popular face on TV. So that is Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur, and we are glad and excited to have him on the show today. So definitely he knows what he's talking about when he defines health as physical, mental, social, and spiritual. But Doc, you used the word, you said interconnectedness. These 4 areas of health, are they interconnected?
Oh, yes. So someone, there are statements out there like there's no health without mental health. Each one of them is connected. For example, when you are stressed, it's under mental health. But stress, causes physical, changes that will lead you to chronic illnesses like hypertension, diabetes, cancer, and those things. So when you are stressed, it's a response to demands, right? And that response, body releases all kinds of chemicals, cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine, those chemicals, and they will influence your sugar control. Diabetes. So, for example, when a woman is pregnant, that experience is stressful. The baby's presence, is considered as stress. The body recognizes the baby as a foreign object, right? And all kinds of chemicals. So women can even develop diabetes in pregnancy because of the presence of the child, right? So these chemicals are released to affect your BP, your immunity, and all those things, right? So something that is under mental health is affecting your physical well-being. And again, someone may develop a physical problem like stroke, and as part of stroke, they may have all kinds of brain changes which will affect their personality. It would affect their emotions. They may develop depression, anxiety, and all kinds of memory can be impaired and stuff. They can, some may even lose impulses. Let me give you an example. There was this woman connecting mental health, spirituality, and physical health. There's this woman who came to see me now. She speaks in an uncontrollable tongues. Usually say Erebompeya. Then you say, I want to speak in tongues. Then you start speaking in tongues. Or the pastor will say, let's speak in tongues. Then you start speaking in tongues. Yeah. So you have some control over it. Mm-hmm. But for this one, she can't control it. Right. So she may be in church. Young bomb pay. There is no whatever. Then she will start speaking in tongues. Right. And she can't control it. She may be at the restaurant with the family. The tongues will come. Right. Wherever she can't control it. She can't control it. So the what do you call it? The kids were very, very, disturbed. I'm sharing this with you because she has given me permission to be sharing it. Okay. And I've actually interviewed her on TV before. Okay. On radio before. So that's why I'm sharing it. Mm. So she obviously, if Obi or tongues, on your hospital as some anamubua. Yeah. Na tongues so is about hospital. The first thing that will come to your mind is that maybe a soon be no origin anamubua. Yeah. No, it's okay to think that it's okay. Mm. It's okay to entertain several thoughts. It's fine. Mm. So what do you think they would do? Prayer camp. Yeah. Yes. So going to prayer camp, and she actually works with one of the top prayer places in Ghana. I won't mention the place. Mm. Right. But so she has served under the man for some time. Mm-hmm. So the man is so very educated. So what bompaya 3 months, 6 months. Tongues the man or rubber. Yeah. So I went somewhere where to give a talk. Nanebano or talk no. Like he was part of the participant and it was on mental health. Mm. So after talking, the woman came and said, no, doctor, no, let me talk to you because I think, you need to see my mom. Mm. So she actually made arrangement for the mother to come and see me. In the consulting room, I start talking tongues. I said, doctor, have you seen me? And the woman knows that them tongues are American. And yet, I know what it means to speak in tongues, but this one, I don't have control over it. You can say, cry and start to tongues. Oh, like that. So when I saw her, she's about 70-something years old. And I realized that he's even having some memory problems here and there. And the moment she came and I saw what was happening, I straight away knew where the problem was coming from. Oh, okay. Because if you're a doctor, you actually study the body. So when you go to hospital and the doctor tells you something, you don't listen. It doesn't make sense because we know, like we've learned, So the more I knew it, there are parts of the brain that is responsible for inhibition of behaviors. Okay. Inhibition of behavior, and you're there. You have control over your behavior based on your settings. Mm-hmm. Until whilst we are in the studio, and you not get up to wee at the corner of the studio. Yeah. You know that this is a studio, and you design appropriate behaviors, which is compatible with the studio. Yeah. Because there's a part of your brain that is responsible for that. Okay. If them part na sama about one, you will get up and wee and not even know you are wee. You won't have control over your edges, your behavior. You see, and it can manifest in various ways. But because she has been a church person, working under that person in the prayer camp, it manifested around that. Right. If she had another profession was involved in something, it will have problems around that thing. Right. Right. So we call disinhibition. Right. So now the control over the tongue was because multiple areas, in the brain around that area. I don't want to talk about big terms, but there are areas in the brain that is responsible for those things, right? And in the past, now faint. Obe and also she's been fainting in the past, right? You admit in kakra na no atono kofi. Those are minor strokes. Are also fainting. Those strokes had affected multiple areas around those regions. And our friend then, so we did a CT scan and realized the changes there. And I put her on medication, tongues, It's been 5 years now. Wow. The last time I was, what did you do? I didn't do anything. It's just simple, right? So you realize the connection. Yes. So there was a mental health problem with the behavior. He had a certain spiritual the spirituality of her is what was manifesting with that physical change in the brain. If it was a doctor or something, my friend is something else. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that is the connection.
Correct.
So something that is under physical, whatever, the strokes. Now there's a behavioral component, which is mental health. Then the spiritual component has to do with the manifestation of the disease. And most of the time, those who even have, unfortunately, the madness related problems, it almost all the time manifests as some spiritual symptoms.
Yeah.
And so you go and they are hyper spiritual and that kind of thing, and you know whatever they are saying doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
So something that is physical, even when it comes to schizophrenia and those things, right? There are all kinds of brain changes and problems. Yeah. So we are highly complex. Yeah. So when the Bible says you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that's what it means. We are very, very complex. The body is so complex. You know, there are places for emotional regulation, memories. You know, there are things that you do that improves your memory. Areas of your brain that is for articulation of language, even your ability to speak the Fanti and combine with English. There are portions of the brain for it.
I see.
You see how to even comport yourself. You know, your vision. Your eye is not what interprets what you see. It's your brain. You see. So they are very, very connected. You know, our friend there, you know, sometimes if you have some mental health problem, it will affect your heart function, your breathing, you know, and sometimes you go to the hospital and it's like you're having physical symptoms. And you're having physical symptoms and you go and they do all kinds of lab. What's if you knew? Meanwhile, you don't feel well.
Exactly.
And they'll say, go and see a psychologist.
Yes.
You know, because the body is interconnected. You know, things that is happening. Sometimes when you're unwell, you can't even pray.
Yes.
You know, what is physical now is affecting your spiritual life.
Yes.
You know, so we are very, very, very connected. And that is why when you are unwell, you know, you need a holistic approach.
That's right.
One way usually doesn't work. And that is why some people are still struggling with some disease because they are using just one way to fix it. You know, but you need that multidisciplinary approach. And that is why sometimes you go to the hospital, there are different departments. Now, one doctor, we also go with dietitian.
Yes.
And I will go with physiotherapist.
Yes.
And I will go with eye specialist.
Yes.
Because we need that. I will also let your pastor also pray with you.
Right.
Because we need all that.
The holistic approach.
Yeah, to be able to manage you. Now, I can cry or struggle or man, how you call or struggle or manage you. Because we are not easy like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go home and you're overly excited,
yeah.
You know, and your spouse is even wondering, hey, you've been there by some Noroko. Another time too, it's like everything is breaking loose and you want the same person.
Exactly.
You know, you go and something small, you are irritable. Sometimes overcry, I'm on the chair, so you do baby and say, why did I even knock my child? You know, you realize that you're either worried or stressed or you're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And before you realize it's affecting every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
So we are very, very complex.
Right. Right. Doc, what's the life expectancy for us in Ghana here?
At every point, Ghana's population, those who are above 65, they are less than 1.2 million, 3.5%.
Really?
Only 3.5% of Ghanaians at every point in time cross 65.
So 97 of us die at 65 maximum.
And so life expectancy is between 63 and 65 for Ghanaians. Majority of Ghanaians will die between 50 and 65.
Really?
When you see anybody cross 65, there will be Ofie, where is 70, where is 69. Trying to salute. It's part of the few. It's part of the few. When you go to US, it's in the 70s. When you go to China, it's around 80 something. Right? So every country but Africans, almost every African country is it's around 60, between 60 and 65.
Which is not good. Let's go into the causes. Why? Why do we die so early like that?
Well, so there are multiple things. Right? When it comes to the diseases we have, you know, most of them are lifestyle diseases. So we have all kinds of diseases like hypertension, diabetes, obesity particularly, like gaining weight. In Africa, the plus, you know, honor we admire.
Yeah.
In the Serbia, we no fusun, baby sun, utusun, ana. I'm sorry, man.
It's allowed. or a stray bullet.
On your health, my health information to be ente. Obi so we can nourish orukun. Hey, I have your pa. Hey, when I will hips up orukun is obesity. I have your, but on your healthy. So things like obesity, gaining weight. Also, gaining weight is a risk factor for almost every disease you can think about. Weight gain is part. And weight gain is a sign that, your body systems are not functioning well. And you are putting in too much that the body can make use of. And so there are all kinds of diseases. Hypertension, diabetes, we have cancers, or stroke and those things, heart diseases, cardiovascular problems. So diseases are killing Ghanaians before their time. Right? Why are we having diseases? Why? Right? One, there are genes for almost every disease. We are like there's genetic linkage. In this, all my will be likely to get it. If people will be now or fear genes. Whilst you're inheriting the good things, you are inheriting also the bad things. So your genes. Then again to gender or sex. Mbenyifo want problems. Mbesiafo want problems. The fact that some things may come up, breast-related problems, breast cancer, no kekao. Breast cancer shouldn't kill anybody if we identify it early. Some people with the mass be on from na commit on hospital. Not helps na by the time I more and sign our hospital. When you get to also and it spread, you pass. Cervical cancer and those things. So women-related issue, men-related issue, prostate issues and those things, lung cancers and those things, and suicide-related problems, right? So gender. Then again, we go to these ones we call them non-modifiable. As I into Mrs. You can't change your age, you can't change your genes, right? You can't change your sex. Age is also part. As you are aging, a lot of changes happen, and you are likely to get some illnesses. So they are non-modifiable risk factors, right? That means you can't change them, right? But the modifiable ones, they are lifestyle-related problems, and that is what we are really doing very, very bad about. You realize that the older folks were doing a lot of good things, so they were living longer. The younger folks are we are borrowing all kinds of things. We are not doing so lifestyle-related problem. Some of the lifestyle issues, diet. We eat too much salt, which is not good. We eat too much sugar now. So the drinks, all the sugary drinks, Fanta, Coke, Milo, too much, all those sugar things, you are killing yourself. We'll find that refined products, the tin can fast things. It is easy. Those days, no a pound fufu. Now everything is so easy. Those days, we'll find there and easy. Now we want paper drink, wine and fruit juice. Instead of buying orange and squeezing, you have a paper orange juice. So all those things, with the preservatives and refine this, refine that, tin can things. And so the more natural your food is, the better. The more artificial, the more the problems. And you'll be surprised that a lot of industries don't do well. The world is a crazy place. That's some of the things you may see are on the can and stuff. Oh, this percentage is that it may even not be true.
Yes. Some of them they will even say no sugar.
Natural fruit or a calorie You see, so all the tin can fast things. The diet-related problems is really, really destroying us. So the more natural your food is, the better. A lot of fruits, veggies, a lot of fish products instead of animal products. All the diet-related, they are lifestyle things. Into is on order quantity in order as in spices that you are destroying yourself. You are destroying your health. So the more natural your meal is, the better. You see, and you realize that those days our grandparents, what would they do? They'll go to the bush, but the water to cabbage nazi, no that ye, no chuabum, Those days, boom crowd on Fejanka. And we had Wechuana, some palm oil, kakrebi, som nazi. They were eating a very, very healthy diet. In Troba and those things. Now, it's even a long time I even tasted the Troba. Agushi and, kontom. Those things, natural things. Now, everything is fast.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the pizza. One good thing every week be a busy pizza. One good every day be a pizza. And then you beg guests nazi, you are destroying your health. You are destroying your health. So diet. Then again to sedentary lifestyle.
What is
sedentary that? Means that a lifestyle with no activity. Yeko officer, I want to underpa kabesi uda nenyim. Wafo, akwejuma, you go to work, right? You sit out the whole day. Then you sit another car. Even now, it's even lift. If your lift is not working, people don't like because by the time it's a sign that you are dying. Your body is not healthy. Then you come home, you come and sleep, and it continues the week. No physical activity. Those days, our grandparents will carry wood through and walk distance. Into always 85 grand woods in. But now 40-year-old, 50-year-old, and they can't even perform.
Yeah.
They are very, very, very weak. Right? So sedentary lifestyle and obesity. The diet plus sedentary lifestyle will lead to weight gain. So if you see someone who is always putting on weight, it's a sign that the person is either physically less active or the diet is bad. You see. And so sedentary lifestyle, very, very important. Then you go into water. People are not drinking enough water. You need almost about 2 to about 3 liters of water every day. That's your insuccession in about 6 of them every day. We don't drink enough water. Dehydration can shut down your kidneys. So you need to be drinking water, not because you feel like drinking water, but you just have to drink to hydrate your body, right? Because the body needs a lot of water for every process to work, right? So dehydration can kill you. Then again, to another big thing is alcohol. Alcohol. People are drinking now. Young people are drinking like nobody's business.
Yeah. And
when you are young, you see the changes are not major now. But whilst you are putting in that alcohol, you are destroying every cell in the body. You see, alcohol has something we call ethanol. The proper scientific is ethanol. So when you pick alcoholic drink, what's the 4%? It means the ethanol component is 4%. When you say 15%, some drink is as high as 70%. When you take in alcohol right from your mouth through your throat to your esophagus to your stomach, it will start the distraction. Right? Into na some in sample and no mabona ebo wa kokodo.
Yes.
Bona nkofo ongeda manu bi de ontime. Mono msada. Mono msada. Mon wo bo wa kokodema, because it starts the damage.
Yeah.
So the alcohol itself will start the damage. Now alcohol body numa, the body has to eliminate it quickly by breaking it down because it will destroy the body. So you realize that your skin, your breath, your urine will start smelling alcohol, right? And so the pancreas will do it bits. The liver, particularly the brain, right? The liver has to break it down quickly. And whilst it's breaking it down, it breaks it down to something first called acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is toxic to the body. So the alcohol itself, physically, as it's moving, is causing damage. Then whilst the body breaks it down to acetaldehyde, it also causes damage. Acetaldehyde is even a carcinogen, can cause cancer. So as for alcohol, it causes almost every disease like obesity in the body. In medical school, if you go and they ask you, what is the name or cause of this disease? Alcohol, smoking, obesity, and stress. You are right. You are right. Right? Then if it breaks down to acetaldehyde, the body has to eliminate acetaldehyde in few hours, like in 10, because that is toxic. It breaks it down to acetate, and acetate is broken down to carbon dioxide and water. Then it's eliminated. The more the percentage, the more the problem. But there is no percentage that is not destructive. Now we know that there is no safe dose of alcohol. In Tobikedo, drink in moderation, you are still dying.
Exactly. And we also hear that red wine is good for the heart.
No, now we know that the net effect of red wine on the heart is negative. Because see, red wine has two components. The nutritional component, which is good. Then the ethanol component. The ethanol component, either you are drinking a good thing and a bad thing in one drink. So the good thing, you may have some benefit, but the bad thing finally will kill you. So now we even know that the net effect, you see, net and gross. I don't know, salary but we saw a net or another a gross. When we say net, the net effect of red wine on the heart is negative. When we eat any carbohydrate, the body processes it to generate its own type of alcohol. Right? To generate its own type of alcohol from every food that we eat, and that whatever it generates into acetate is safe for the body. So you don't need any external. Now, Bekedo, doctors, Doctor Bio Bekeda Numisaka Kranacha on Sobu. Until he wants to feel good. Another, a little alcohol is good for. It's not true. All those things are business related things. I see. Right? And most of the alcoholic beverages has its own portions have some nutritional value. But the ethanol component of the alcohol will kill you. So even if it's red wine, why can't it be just normal wine with non-alcoholic? Why should there be some alcohol in there? So you are young, especially now the young guys and girls, especially the girls. They what buhama? They now smell off na no Guinness na all those things. That what boo? And one of the things that is coming up is shisha. They may about him now watching.
Yes.
And so now you think, I'm enjoying life.
Yes.
What it means is that you are destroying your health gradually. That at the time I reach your peak performance, na sikabano, na yereba ebodu, because the changes started many years ago. So you may think, me, I don't care, I'm enjoying life. Go ahead. Very soon you come up with diseases, and you will die before your time. So once you are young now, one of the best things you can do to yourself is to stay away from alcohol. And when you start drinking, you are on your way to an addiction.
Okay.
You are on your way to so a social drinker. Sometimes worrying. Now we know there is no safe dose. Now we know that there is no safe dose of alcohol.
I see.
So as for alcohol, then smoking, you have to cut out smoking and all those other drugs, marijuana and those things. Right? And you need to cut them off. Then again to our friend then, anytime you feel you're well, you need to go to hospital in time so that it doesn't become an emergency.
But thank you, Doc, for that. But I want us to also talk about stress.
Yes.
Because I know it's highly related to the alcohol. People drink because they want to relieve stress. And I know stress is also a killer. Am I right?
Yes. So when you are stressed, like I said, the body needs just a little stress to perform. Because anytime there's an activity and you need to perform, you need a burst of energy, a burst of strength to do that. And the body releases these chemicals. A little bit of adrenaline, norepinephrine, those things. That helps you to perform. In Jabia, about a day to your exam, in your normal day, because the body releases these chemicals to help you perform. Maybe you're at work, you have a deadline. Before you realize you've typed some notes, like what would they as you meant to maybe, because you need that. So we all need those small stresses every day for performance. We call it eustress. Eustress. EU, STRESS. Eustress. It's also okay. And we have other types, other types of stress. We have acute stress. It's some intense or severe stress, but it's over a very short time. So ABI in the week, project riba, 3 days. After the 3 days, 9 until that you come back to normal.
Yeah.
Short time. This is very severe. It can knock you off. But because just after you are resting, the body takes time. After every project, then you take some rest. Then the body comes to normal. Right? Then we have episodic stress. Episodic stress are short stress that come in periods. In Tabia this week, one day be, project be ewie, arrest kakra, then the next week another one comes, then the next 2 weeks another one comes. Those are episodic. It's not consistent, but it's in periods. Then we have another one we call chronic stress. That is the most dangerous. Chronic stress is stress which is almost always present for a long time. Into one could be you are stressed. And whenever you are stressed, the body has to prepare you to deal with the stressor or to move away, because the body cannot entertain stress because of the impact of stress on the body. So we call it the fight or flight response. You are fighting it or you are moving away, because the body cannot coexist with stress. So whenever you are stressed, in order to initiate this fight or flight response, the body releases these chemicals to help the body do that. We call it the stress hormones or chemicals. We have cortisol, we have adrenaline, we have norepinephrine, these ones. And whenever they are released, they go into the body systems to change the body systems to deal with the stress. Unfortunately, those changes, if it is there consistently for a long time, the changes now become permanent. And that is when diseases start. So anytime you are stressed, know that whilst you feel that way, internally too, the body is going through changes. So before you realize, when you are stressed, you feel tired, you have headaches, body aches, you are always coming up with infections, kakrana a year, you can't sleep well or you sleep too much, energy to do things are not there, even your libido will go down, you're having aches and pains here and there. It's a sign that internally the changes are going on, right? And when those changes continue for a long time, then you develop all the disease, hypertension, diabetes, bone issues, cancers, infertility. Some people that's why when you are stressed, you realize the woman's is crying, or son.
Yeah.
Some girls will tell you that when they are preparing for exams, their menses are all over the place. Or when they are stressed at work, you realize their menses may delay or something. Because of stress. So that is what happens, when you are stressed. So whilst you are stressed, know that internally change is not recorded. So there are some people, they eat well, they do everything fine, they don't have any risk in their family, yet before like hypertension, and as you feel
exactly
stress. And some people too, they have a disease, maybe hypertension. What often do also on because the stress is maintaining it. I had a patient who was on several drugs. Off a druna on bafum. So at some point, just na me fedruna as muntum control na. There was the use. Into jay drunifa. No be so go and see doctor. Into obey I had to take my time to find out, are there other things in your life that is stressful? Oh, there's stresses in his life. Plenty. So yeah. And you say, DCU say, Bazi, once one problem, so chain croy. Internet sometimes once what is going to be. That's why. I'm going to be easy school, Pocho. I'm going to be a joke near joke. Disclaimer. There is joke. I am going to be a discount. Stress is high with a job. On top of it, he has 4 boys. In a numu, I were some Nazi. Internet, a human, numun some, obe feels soon some. Plus his own businesses running here and there. So he's always almost stressed. It often do no cry. The drugs are not as effective as they. So what did I do? I help him reduce his stresses. Put him on the same dose. The next time he came, BP has dropped.
Wow.
Doctor, how did you do it? Like I said, the body is connected. Stress, which is under mental health, maintaining someone's BP. Right. So you realize that stress does that, but the impact of a stressor is dependent on how you evaluate the stressor or evaluate yourself. What it means is that anytime we face a stressor, we evaluate the stressor. Then after evaluation of the stressor, we evaluate whether we can deal with the stressor or not. And for example, exam riba, Hey, exam see, poison. Go stress boko up.
Yes.
Hey, Munsu Azo.
Yes.
Stress will go up.
Yes.
Exam river. Oh, this paper. Oh, I'll blow. Stress will go down. Make sure I say, oh, more blow. Stress will go down. So two people may go through the same stress, but because they are thinking about the stress differently, the impact will be different. Obi if I were Eraza antinama nkutima wuronyi papa ni trim years na ya obi so bekada papa ni trim years na nso mo won kyerem. The nanso is an evaluation which is positive. Inti bone awareness onye pa oye nti is not stressed. Evaluation of stressor. Two people will lose a relationship. All men are the same. I was not born for marriage. Men are scam. This stress they be our so.
Exactly.
Obisu Bakero, if you have gone away, go away to your big head. Another person will come.
Yeah.
The second person is likely not to feel overwhelmed than the first person. So how you think about the stressor determines the impact of the stressor. If your thinking is negative about the stress, the impact goes up. Right? And so part of stress management, we actually look at your perspective about the stress. If you can't change the stressor, change how you see it.
Right.
It's going to help reduce the impact. Though you may feel stressed, but you may not feel overwhelmed. It is sometimes at the workplace. Obi bejuma nenyu aja no zereba project I dey na on fun because they are thinking about the project different. Obi as you are a zina man go tell me brain you're thinking about it. So your thoughts about the stressor is even as more important than the stress itself. Because the impact of the stressor on you. Obisu ofie number 3. Now what how my deny no move nazi je. Obisu bo number my kids are a blessing. And so run around make sure you don't hurt yourself, then you will leave them.
Yeah.
So the same 3 kids are why you're stressing. Obi the prayer camp or pekor. So you're thinking about a stressor determines the impact of the stress on you.
Right. Doc, we'll come back and talk about the solutions to all these problems because our life expectancy is not good. 63 to 65, you said.
On your average. It's around 50 to 65.
We die too early.
Yes.
It's not good at all. But if you are listening to me, you are definitely listening to the Family Talk, and we are with Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur. And we are talking about your health and your family. You can join in the discussion. The WhatsApp number is 0577 001 027. 0577 001 027. You can call the same line and we can connect you. We will, before I come back to Doc, Akorfa, what do you think so far? Doc has said a lot of things.
It's a lot. We have a lot to keep learning and unlearn. Unlearn because there are things that we have been doing that we have a mindset to it, but then you realize this is not going to help in the long term. So unlearning it and picking up new habits, it's a lot.
It's a lot, and it's a good time to listen and really unlearn and relearn.
Exactly.
Because what he's saying can actually change your life. It can add some 5 years or 10 years to your life. So listen attentively. But Doc, before we come back, give me a song. What's your favorite song? I want to play you your favorite song.
Friend, I don't know when I was coming to Chakra,
Nathaniel Bassi, Adona. All right. While we prepare for the song, let me announce again the WhatsApp line is 0577 001 027. Let me pick it again. 0577 001 027. Let's hit Adona and we will be right back.
Sing
And that's Adona by Nathaniel Bassey, Dr. Isaac Newman, Arthur's favorite for this year. This is Family Talk, and we are talking about your health and your family. And Akorfa Crankson is also here with me. But somebody has put in a question, so we will listen to the question and then we'll get back to the solutions to all the problems that Dr. Isaac Newman has spoken about. Akorfa, what's the question?
Okay, so this is from one of our listeners, and you didn't add your name, right? So he's asking concerning the alcohol. It's a good education for all, but why do some doctors who should know better drink? Is it that there's a remedy somewhere? That's why some drink too much.
The question again.
It said concerning the alcohol. It's a good education for all, but why do some doctors who should know better drink? Is it that there's a remedy somewhere? That's why some drink too much.
All right, Doc, you heard the question. Is there a remedy somewhere for drinking?
Yeah, so you see, the reason why a doctor will drink is because probably they built a certain behavior before they became doctors, right? And again, it's behavioral, you see. And when it comes to an addiction, addiction is a disease. There are certain substances or behaviors we call psychoactive substances or behaviors. What it means is that those activities or substances have the potential to cause an addiction because they cause changes in the brain, right? Brain areas that is responsible for behaviors and stuff. So we have dopamine areas and stuff like that. So obi enomensa. Insano is called a psychoactive substance because insano, it goes to the brain to cause changes in the brain such that you can become addicted to it. Marijuana, cocaine, heroin, tramadol, those things, they are called psychoactive substances because they have the chemical property that makes them able to cause changes in the brain. So it doesn't matter who is using it. We drink water every day. We don't become addicted to water because water doesn't have the capacity to cause an addiction. Into on found emi amiti amonum nsada. Semizin segumenum na me start mronuma. The changes will begin and I'm on my way to an addiction. Not because I am immoral or I am bad. Into obia onum nsa ontumi nje. It goes beyond morality. Because insana nkasa has the potential to cause changes in the brain. So we call them psychoactive substance. For example, weed. Weed has two major components. The cannabinoids and the THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, right? Oh no. The THC component of marijuana is the psychoactive substance. You see. But the other component is the good one. Which even we use as medicinal for medicinal things. So when the industries which work on marijuana, they take out the THC and maintain the good component, and they use it for many things. But so obire shuwia or shuwe bieni na intina eya of wontirum. Now we have all kinds of weed toffee and we have shocker nazi where they add weed to alcohol. You know, and if we be numbida often itrim before you like they come and they're hyperactive and delirious and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So and there are certain behaviors which also work like these drugs. Like for example, pornography. When you start watching porn, you get addicted. Like masturbation, you get addicted. Like gambling, you get addicted. You see. So there are certain, even gadgets, now even the use of gadgets, some people are addicted to their phones,
right,
or addicted to social media,
right, because
any activity that is able to stimulate the pleasure areas, when dopamine is involved, you are on your way to an addiction. So it goes beyond your profession or your status or morality or your spirituality. If any archbishop started or shoe a weeder, he is on his way to an addiction. Not because onyim nyame, but because those substances itself has the capacity to cause changes in the brain. And those changes, some of them can be permanent. So if someone has an addiction, it's a disease like hypertension, diabetes, and those things. And it can be you can go to drug rehab right now, and you may see doctors there. You know, I've worked at rehabs, and some of them are doctors. Doctors have major addictions to some of the drugs that is in the hospital. Some of the injections, some of the doctors are, and there's a whole policy on addiction for the medical professional. Because we can write prescriptions, doctors can write prescription drugs that causes addictions, and they are on it. It's a whole. I've handled a doctor who was addicted to some of the drugs.
I see.
You see some of the painkillers and stuff, right? So it's a whole concept, right? So the approach is to see it as a disease, not as a moral issue. Trying to moralize it. The person has a problem, and anybody who has an addiction will tell you that they've tried several times to stop.
Yeah.
And usually addictions are maintained by problems you talked about. So they have a problem. Instead of going to seek help or using appropriate ways to cope, they now go into alcohol or marijuana or something just to cope. Masturbation, pornography.
Yeah.
I've had addictions before, so I know what it feels like to be addicted to things. Right? Until you go through, a cycle. They go through some problems, then they start thinking about the addictive things, then they start using, then they feel guilty, then they stop, then there's a passage of time, then something happens again, then they are trapped in there.
Yeah.
So behind an addiction is a suffering person who needs help instead of judgment. So you need to go to the hospital. That doctor, I'm the son me break. If another doctor so say yeah, not your doctor no so move to another doctor.
Right.
Then based on that, they will refer you to see the psychiatrist or psychologist or someone, and will take you to therapies. For some people, we say go for rehab 3 months. And when you go to rehab, they modify your environment so that you don't have access. Your troubles won't be at the rehab. Then they have therapists and stuff at the rehab to help you. You see, I know a guy who was one of the senior members of a university who was addicted to alcohol until he met me. And I'm starting therapist now. Me call rehab. Now he's doing well. Maybe one of your shows, if it's Zoom or something, you can interview him in Accra. He goes around and one of the senior members.
I see.
Last time, one of the rehabs, I met one of the former ambassadors of Ghana to one of the countries who was addicted to, I think, one of the substances. Right? So it doesn't matter who you are. You go and there are pastors in there.
Yeah.
There are managers in there.
Yeah.
There are people who, ordinary people in there, ordinary in quotes, respectfully, right? Because addiction has no address. The moment you start using it, you're on your way to an addiction. So one of the surest way to deal with an addiction is not to start it in the first place.
Right.
Because when you start, you're on your way.
Right.
And it's a disease, right? And when you go with some therapies here and there and all that, some people too, and for some reason, if they can't go to rehab, we attend to them on OPD basis. Like if a hospital, you go to some therapists, you go home. Then they will give you a day to come back. But you need help to stop it if you have any addiction. And it doesn't matter whether you're a doctor. And I'm telling you, in the medical profession, there is a whole policy on addiction for medical professionals. Because we have access to things. And we can prescribe things. And it's easier for us as medical professionals to get things. And because of that, and Charlie, marriage issues has nothing to do with whether you are a doctor or not.
True.
Or financial problems or personal issues.
Yeah.
I know one of my colleagues who smokes a cigarette like nobody's business. Because cigarette, nicotine is addictive. And tell me, if I start, smoking cigarette, I will become addicted.
Right.
And most of the cigarette papers no crown boxes. Now some of them even draw the disease on it.
Yes.
For you to know.
To know, yes.
As a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Then later on in your disease now, disease.
Yeah.
Most of the companies are very, very wise. They know you'll be addicted. It's in a world producing. And they will write it boldly there. But because you are addicted,
yes,
you can't control it. And they know. Until they are not afraid to draw the disease on the box. And one of the things that even alcoholic industries they do is that now they are mixing herb and alcohol. So you realize that some of the herbs, something ginger this,
but
it's alcohol.
Yeah.
Because when they do that, you think you are drinking medicine.
Yeah.
But they are killing you.
Yeah.
And they know you come back for it.
Yeah.
Because you cannot stop. It's a whole business on its own.
I see. There's another question, right? But before we come to that question, in the next 10 minutes, Doc, if we can look at the solutions to other problems.
Let's answer one before we go to of time.
Solutions don't hear me, pa.
Okay.
Yes, because we've spoken about the life expectancy, all the diseases, both mental, social, physical, and then spiritual. 3 solutions people can carry in their mind. So, yeah.
So if you want to be very, very healthy, right, maybe let me mention 3 core things. 1, watch what you put in your mouth. Right? Everything you are putting in your mouth is going somewhere in your body to destroy your body. Right? So sometimes go to Google and just type healthy diet. Right? Or healthy, dietary practice. They will tell you a lot of things. Anywhere in Google that they will tell you alcohol is okay, delete that information. Alcohol, there is nothing good about alcohol. Right? So be careful what you put in your mouth. Right? Because everything you are putting in your mouth is what your body becomes. Even computer crying, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
What you put in a computer is how functional your computer becomes. So be very, very careful what you put in your mouth. Then the next thing, the second one is be physically active. Be physically active. So have a routine for exercise. 30 minutes a day you are moving. Sometimes you need that physical activity. So get physically active. You realize that those who are outside the country, some of them eat all kinds of things, yet they live long. Because one health systems in here, your likelihood they be high. Because ambulance call before cry on do them. One day only free up 911 few seconds. They are every block there's a 911. In Toronto, Bahade on a taxi bin on by a pimping alcohol, but I tell Bodu New. And Wintiman Kedo, now on our brochino, some of them they eat or they live no. I will go. In a honor, so you realize that most of them they are able to compensate a bit. But the disease there with cancers and stuff or dorsal outside. But some of them are able to compensate because you see them exercise every day. Then they are walking their dogs. You see them too almost every year. They go on vacation. Away from work. I had in a vacation in Kobe. Exercise now in Yebi. There you are adopting their lifestyle. Once away. You see. So be physically engaging.
Right.
Be physically engaging. Then the third one I would say seek help early. Seek help very, very early. And what it means is that anytime every year piano, and every 6 months or every year piano, go on go and do medical screening. Your medical screening. Kakra. Go hospital doctor check. Because a lot of diseases are called silent killers, like hypertension and those things. Until you do screening, you may never know. So do some medical screening here and there. Then when you're well, instead of waiting, and get to the hospital for help. Make kitchen answer about hospital emergency. Our systems are not as effective. You go to certain hospitals now. They don't want to solve emergency when you or don't call Sheba. Because you can your procurement and you have to now go by the time and go to nurse and our doctor be on so or a nice kakra and you choose bobu no you are dying obu enchu kra on who anyin say boko no wa brenda say wanya ni ntama so Africa, we have a problem. US crown way for go to US. No doctor a mistake will sue hospital when you millions of dollars. So they are always on point. But here you are on your own. Though the doctors and nurses and other pharmacists and lab they are doing well because we have limited facilities. Yet in top of the doctors and nurses and those people here medical professionals say when they go outside the country, they do so well. They can't compete with us. There was one doctor in UK. You know, be some question I answer, be say because how are you able to keep all this in your head? Because one of the software has, you know, disease but what type why you when you answer so better type when for good. You know, so the health professionals here are doing well.
Yeah.
But obviously there are some places who are not doing so well. Or no, sometimes you go to places and the mistakes and you know, even the attitude alone.
Yeah. You
know, can make your disease worse.
That's true. But Doc, how important is rest as well?
Yes, when you rest, the body actually goes into a certain state for healing. Right? A break away from food. The body goes into its own healing mode. See, the body has its own internal capacity to heal, to rejuvenate. Even memory. There's something we call consolidation of memories. When you sleep, at some portion of time of the sleep, you have different stages of sleep. Right? At some point in the sleep, if it's good sleep, you realize that your memory, you know, gets better. So one of the best gifts you can give to yourself after before exam is to sleep. The night before exam, you should sleep. Right? And when they say, and then I got your exam, sir. Wait till I do. You know, it's happened to me before, so I know. Right? And so sleep, consolidation of memories, or your immunity becomes stronger because the body actually goes into tissue repair and stuff when you stay away from food. You know, so fasting helps. There's something called intermittent fasting. You know, where you have a window period you eat and you stay away from food for like 12 hours to 16 hours because it takes around that time for the body to go into some healing mode. Right, because the body has its own internal mechanisms to repair its cells, tissues, to detoxify and those things. And when you are break away from food, it helps. And so intermittent fasting also really, really helps. So one of the methods for intermittent fasting, which is a bit easier, is the 8-16 hours kind of thing. So you have 8 hours window. You see, in a day we have 24 hours. 8 plus 16 are 24 hours. It means that you have 8 hours in a day to eat whatever you want to eat. Then you stay away from food for 16 hours. But the 16 hours, no, we do it overnight so that for example, if you decide to eat from 9 to 6, that is 8. Is it 9 to 6? Let's say 10 to 6. That is 8 hours.
Yes.
So your first meal is at 10. In the morning. Last meal it at 6 in the evening. It means from 6 to the next day 10 is 16 hours. Staying away from food. Right? And the body actually goes into that healing mode, you know, in that hour. Right? Or you can do from 12 in the afternoon. That's what I do. 12 in the afternoon, then you to 8 in the evening. Because most of us have work. We go to work and we come back late. So by 8, editing more editing in the area. Even if after 8 you eat something, it should be something very, very light. So that your body goes into the healing mode. So from 8 in the night to 12 in the afternoon, you have not eaten. Most of us don't even eat in the morning. So why not be intentional about the fasting period? The day is kind of hectic, so you can't be doing that in the day, but we actually do it overnight. So that whilst you are sleeping, there's no food. And that's why late night eating and stuff is also not good. Because your body is always working. So when you eat late night and you wake up and then at dawn, you realize that you feel tired. You feel overwhelmed.
You know? So friends who say that I sleep for only 3 hours, 4 hours.
You are killing yourself. You need not less than 7 hours sleep. You know, a little sleep, a little slumber, and poverty will overtake you. That scripture is misquoted. It was talking about laziness, not sleep in itself. You know, because even God says, come unto me, all ye that are heavy, I'll give you rest. Jesus Christ will throw away the crowd and go and rest. You know, so as for rest there, if God says, come, I'll give you rest. God created 6 days. After 6 days, what did he do?
He rested.
Even God rested. Can you imagine? God taking a nap. Then one good thing, you are carrying the world on your head. Die and see.
The world will move on.
Or will be confident to come and eat fufu at your funeral. In the grave, you know, you're able to be a bit fufu. May I take away. You know, so slow down and rest. Men find Manya BBC. Queen Elizabeth Krawewu. Do we even talk about her now? No, we don't. So we are all dying. But how you die is more important than death itself. And whilst you are celebrating your birthday, you know you are getting closer and closer to your grave.
Is there any other message?
Yes. So Victor says that, dear Dr. Atta, we thank God for availing yourself to present such insightful and educative program. Kindly text me your contact number for a private discussion. God bless you, Doc. And let me see, there's one from Stanley. Stanley says, good morning. I'm listening to the program right now from Impoho. It's very informative, educative, and lifestyle modeling. My regards to Doug and everyone. And Doug, we would like to have your contact number. Right. Thank you so much, Stanley, and also Victor Amponsa. Right.
Right. And Doc, it looks like everybody wants your contact number. But what we'll do is that we share our contact numbers. If you want Doc, then we'll connect it privately to you. I hope that is fine.
And that radio, my number radio pass over because there are too many people listening. Now, we are your friend and Obi grab a flash no be said or I can do or flash as a number near. A number no go through. You know, I have so if you really want to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with the number, the WhatsApp number now.
Yes.
What I send you know.
Yes.
Now our friend then they will get through to me.
Yes. Yes.
And I promise you, me, I can have time for you.
Right.
Just that the public information with my number. We are very, very, very busy people. So
there's a number we normally use for our end of month questions. So you can send whatever information. In fact, you can send your contact to that number.
That would be so anyone calling, sorry, we can't pick your call now. So you send us the message, the question, or the details to 0246 984691. 0246 984691, and we'll get in touch with Doc.
Yes. If you want Doc's private number, send a message to that number, and then we'll send you Doc's number. Then you can have an interaction with him. But Doc, we've said a lot. What is your concluding remarks? What would you advise people generally if they want to live long and not leave their family?
So adults are a reflection of their childhood.
Right.
And to know that whatever age you are, you are going to add on more years. Say age 19, pona say we are. Maybe about 95, you are 5 years more. It means that what you are doing at 90 is important for the next 5 years. If you are 18 years, now it is 50 years, right? You have 30 years. Now whatever you are doing at 90, is what is going to show up at 50. So don't think that Mary Abian, it just goes into space. It doesn't vanish. And that is why a lot of people are pleasantly surprised that in their older years, that they spend all their money on medications and all kinds of things. And I'm not saying that, those who have illnesses, they didn't live well. That is not what I'm saying. Some people have really tried their best, yet because of the non-modifiable things, like the genes, their sex, and their sex or gender or other release stresses and some other things, so things happen. So some people are doing well, yet they still have some disease and they don't understand. So I'm not saying that everybody who has a disease they didn't live well, but a lot of the time it is the lifestyle related issues. So whilst you're young, know that you are building a certain health status for your older years. And at the time where you are at your peak, you shouldn't just die.
Right.
Because you were irresponsible with alcohol and those things.
Right.
As for alcohol, if you forget anything I've said, throw it away. Don't justify it. Don't go around it. Because whilst you are doing that, know that you are destroying your health. And at the time where you have money and you are now at the peak of your performance to influence, you may either die or you may have major diseases to deal with. Know one of my friends who didn't take care of his health well. He had hypertension, diabetes. Hey, one of the things I forgot to add is compliance. When you go to a hospital and they tell you to do something, do it. One more dry being fat. One more BP is that you are destroying your body. You are destroying, even if you have problems with the medications, go to the hospital and have a conversation with the doctor. That way, Mr. Timmy A, B, and C, major, no. Now, obey change, change. Don't just stop it.
Right.
Because whilst you are not compliant, especially in men, we don't like taking our drugs. We don't like following, right? So please take your drugs, comply. And if there are any issues, just go back to hospital and complain to the doctors, and they are going to help you. So whatever you are doing to your health now is going to show up later on. If you are not, if you don't take good care of yourself.
Right. Thank you very much. And that is Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur, a senior medical officer, a medical director, and a clinical psychologist. And we spoke about your health. I mean, the transformational. Akorfa, you have a message?
I have a message that's making me laugh. This is from one of our listeners, so I don't have the name. It said, I think there should be a special program on Family Talk on diet to help some of us who are always on the run. This is a very good and informative program. But then I want to ask, with the exercise doctors talk about, is sex a good form of exercise?
Yes, sex has many benefits. So we tell married couples to have sex as often as possible. Right? During intimacy, there are chemicals that are released. Dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, serotonin. These are good hormones in a way. Dopamine issues can create problems, but dopamine itself, it's a good, chemical, neurochemical. We call them neurotransmitters. Very, very good. Right? So it helps you sleep, help with your immunity, help with pain. Endorphins will help with pain, right? Help with immunity, will boost your mood, will create bonding, right? And the physical activity during intimacy also is some form of exercise, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And I talk about married couples because, you see, outside marriage, the problems around it will rather add on to your problems.
Exactly.
And all those unwanted pregnancies and losses.
Exactly.
Yeah, it creates problems. So, but generally, intimacy has a norm. That's why God created it.
Right.
If young on young,
right.
Okay, so let me just take this last one. It's a good morning. I'm listening to this educative program. You have said a lot. If I listen to this message 3 more times, it will be with me forever. Can I get a copy of this recording?
Do a repeat every Sunday at 9 p.m. And for this special request, I hope the number should. I'll send you the recording.
Yes.
I'll share the recording with you. And let me say, as we said in the beginning, that Doc is in town. Doc is the director of UPSA, that is University of Professional Studies.
The medical directorate, yes.
The medical directorate. This is Family Talk. We do this every Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And we do a repeat on Sundays at 9 p.m. And this week we had Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur on the show. I'm sure you've been blessed. So catch a repeat tomorrow, 9 p.m. And I want to say a big thank you to David Asa, our production manager, who helps us all the time and gets us on point. Next month, June, is the Father's Month. So next month we are going to focus on the men. And next week I'm already thinking of us doing something around men on the Family Talk. I'm thinking of why men cheat. Why men cheat. We'll go there, we'll talk about all that. So don't miss out next week. Join us same time. Thanks for listening. And until we meet, I say God bless you, and God bless you.